It's always like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the new contender in the market of game boxes. Because in this video we are going to take a close look at the JM. It's a new company that makes these game systems, and I was really curious what are we going to get within this. Or this box. Because inside this very nice casing, we're going to get ourselves the kit to play some retro games with. So in this jungle of game boxes, you know, like most of them are just your typical TV boxes. Some will like modify them with a sticker. So I was really curious what are we going to get today. Okay, so here we're going to get the power supply. So the power supplies are not interchangeable with different boxes. Sometimes you're going to get different barrel jack connections. Some power supplies are 5 volt or 12 volt. HDMI cable, then we're going to get ourselves the controller. And I must say, like, I was quite disappointed to see the controller quality. I explain to you why that is. So a second control, and here we're going to get ourselves your typical, let's say, manual. Like this very nice glossy paper with a basic explanation how MULEC works, because that's basically what this device is running on, like a lot of devices nowadays. At the other compartment, we're going to get ourselves the box itself, or in other words, just the Android box. But when he told you like MULEC can be just download freely and can slap it on an Android box like this, I was a little bit disappointed seeing, because there was nothing fancy about it. In the beginning we had like this custom Super Console cases or like this very nice sticker at least, but this is just actually a box. Don't know if they're going to change it out in the future, but this is what I'm going to get. And of course the remote, because it's also an Android box, but I want to focus mainly what can this do when it comes to retro gaming. But okay, so this is what you're going to get with the game system itself. And again, like, I'm not super excited about it, I'm just going to be honest, but I'm really curious what are we going to get with the specifications and also the compatibility with some games. At the back we're going to get a normal USB port, Ethernet connection, HDMI out input for the power supply. We do have an SPDIF out, and that is basically what you're going to get. Of course, here we're going to get ourselves the SD card. So this model contains, let's see, the 256 gigabyte. At the front we're going to get a tiny display. And here we're going to get another port, and this is a USB 3.0. But let's talk about the controller. So in my previous videos I always shown you the PlayStation 2 fake controllers. Those things are most of the time very bad quality and super chemical. And being like smelling really chemical, and that is not great. So this thing, I have some mixed feelings with it, and also like some bad experiences. I can still remember my first, let's say, game box I ever bought from AliExpress had this one in the red color. And I'm just going to be honest, like, what I do like it, the turbo mode. But when you're just like pressing the buttons, it feels, and you can also hear it on the video, it's absolutely very like cheap. We do have like the clear turbo already mentioned. The D-pad are like 4 separate buttons. When you point with your thumb, or you basically like rub it, you can just feel it that it is not going to be very comfortable, say for fighting games. Shoulder buttons. The form factor of the device is not very bad. I find it very nice. It's very sturdy, I can tell you that. And the cable quality is not that great. But with my previous controller I did already like got some problems over here with the connection. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that this controller, and I already told like the seller that these things are absolutely like a big disappointment. But nevertheless, let's take a close look at some other things of the device itself. But while we're looking at the specification list, we're going to get ourselves the S905X3 that comes with a GPU Mali G31, 4GB of RAM DDR3, and it has a 32GB eMMC internal storage. Of course, it runs on MULEC with the special SD card that is a 256GB, and we're having Android 9 as a second option. Or first, depends how you look at it. Okay, so basically when booting up, you're going to get yourself the custom Je Morgen intro, or better, boot up screen. But the only thing I found a little bit of a bummer, I completely forgot to mention that there is no on and off switch. Okay, so what are we going to test today? Basically what we want to do is we're going to test out the more demanding systems. That's basically to see what we can run on this. So if you're looking at the really old school stuff, think about 8-bit, 16-bit stuff. Yeah, that runs just fine. We could play that on a lot of devices back in the days. Think about the Super Console X, the first generation. So that's the reason I just wanted to see what is this thing capable of, and is it even like worth picking up. But okay, so what you can see, like the compatibility with a lot of platforms is crazy with these MULEC devices, especially with a little bit of the newer ones and the later MULEC software. Nevertheless, let's take a close look at some gameplay. Alright, so let's start with some Cruise in the USA on the N64. And the reason why, because this is a very difficult game to emulate, especially on some lower end devices. So it's a great test. So far so good. We can hear some stutters here and there. But the overall performance, I'm just going to be honest, like, it's surprised to see that it actually runs, but it slows down like crazy. But that's the main problem with these things. Funny thing is, like, when you're getting yourself like $150, like, say, cheap mini PC, it's highly possible bottle share this runs perfectly. So it's just like, the chipset is not powerful enough in combination with the emulator. In my opinion, it's a little bit of a bummer, because it kills the game when it comes to stuttering and stuff like that. Okay, so next up, let's try some DD converting, just to see what happens over here. So I'm just going to give you like an idea, like some harder to emulate games will always have issues on these boxes, or the low round cheap boxes. But when you're going to get into the launch titles, we can have some better performance. It still runs on very low resolutions, so don't expect any miracles, but the games are still playable. So I went to the section when it comes to the homebrew games. That's something that I find always quite annoying. So when you want to try and boot up a game, think about this homebrew Diablo game. What you're going to get is actually this. So yeah, so the system software is crashing. So when it comes to these, let's say, systems, it doesn't run always perfectly. So yeah, sometimes you need to do some tinkering yourself. Alright, so next up I wanted to show some Sega Saturn with Cyber Speedway. So I found quite interesting to see like that the system's actually running pretty damn okay. And the reason I'm saying okay, because it's not perfect. There were a lot of games that run okay, especially the two-dimensional stuff. But it's on low power end chip that they can still run some Sega Dreamcast. That is pretty damn... I mean Saturn. Having a brain fart here. Sega Saturn, yeah. But how is the performance? So let's take a close look at that. No weird stuff with the music. I really suck at this game, by the way. But the overall performance, I find it quite impressive to see like that these cheap boxes can just actually play these games. Oh, so I had this brain fart saying that Sega Saturn was Sega Dreamcast. So wait, you know what? Let's try Sega Dreamcast. So Sega Dreamcast is playable for a very long time now, but with this little bit... Shut up. With a little bit more juice. Normally we do have some better performance, but you did hear. And again, like the previous game that didn't boot up, this game doesn't be playing well at all. But the weird thing is, like, normally this shouldn't be a problem, so I'm guessing this is more like an emulator problem. And the reason I'm showing it like this, because it's something you need to take consideration, that it does happen. Okay, so next up I just wanted to give you a quick look into the PlayStation 1. And of course that system runs okay, because this is like a system that runs almost like on every single Super Console X. And if it doesn't run, it has seriously like some reconfiguration needed, because we can play N64 on so many devices. But take consideration, most of these systems just need to have, like, say, an original aspect ratio and a 640 by 480 resolution, if I'm saying it correctly. There is no upscaling whatsoever, because most of these boxes can seriously handle it. If you're looking at, let's say, an Nvidia Shield, can upscale it, but even that system will run into issues, because the Android boxes are not just powerful enough. But when it comes to cheap boxes and PlayStation Portable, it's absolutely not a good combination. You can see like some glitches over there. The two-dimensional stuff seems to be running on a very stable 30 FPS. But when you're going to get into three-dimensional stuff, just forget about it. Okay guys, so let's do a quick teardown. And yeah, these things are looking very plastic and cheap, but the question remains, what are we going to get inside? Another thing that I found a little bit concerning is the way how you can handle the heat, because nowadays we do get like super conflicts and different versions that also like comes with a fan or suspension cooling. But so there were no screws whatsoever, so with my special plastic tool, we just opened it up, we just clicked it open. So this is what we're going to get in the inside. They added like an extra cooling, and they basically use a thermal pad in combination with a tiny metal plate, and you can feel that it basically transfers all of the heat. But that's it, like that's the only cooling that we're going to get. So what I also can do is remove this. And here you can see we do have the all famous, the AM Logic S905X3. We have seen this so many times before, and they keep using this model or this chip itself. Yeah, basically it's not a very wrong chip or a bad chip. It's okay because we do have like a lot of options when it comes to retro gaming. And yeah, it is like a newer Android edition. In combination with the chip power, we can do a lot of great things, but it does have limitations, especially when it comes to PlayStation Portable. Oh, and for the people wondering, no, you cannot play PlayStation 2 on this. Alright, so let's put this thing back on position so we can close it up. Here we're going to get ourselves the RAM chips itself, and here we're going to get a flash chip. It also, of course, comes with Wi-Fi built-in and Bluetooth functionality. So we do have a lot of options, but that's basically the thing that we're going to get. Do I see a production date whatsoever? Nope. Alright guys, so this is what we're going to get with the new TX3 model. It's just an Android box with some MELIC on it, and I'm just saying like it is not even perfect, because you need to do some tinkering to get everything to work properly. I do like these fancy carrying cases, I'm just giving them extra kudos for that. But controller, I already like said to you, like I'm not the biggest fan of it, and I wish they stopped like selling these kits with some crappy controllers. I reviewed those buy-along versions, and yeah, that was also from China, but those things were like pretty damn cool and very good quality. But in the end, what you're going to get is basically the same stuff that we have seen before. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become a Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.